So, do you remember when Doctor Strange looked into the future and only saw one win out of 40 million different outcomes? I'm here to tell you, he lied. Let's discuss. So yeah, in Avengers Infinity War, Doctor Strange uses the Time Stone, which is the only Infinity Stone which actually guaranteed their win, and he saw over 40 million different outcomes from that moment to how they win, and he says only one of them, only one, where they beat Thanos, which ends up with Iron Man dying, which Iron Man shares the same face as Doctor Doom. So let's dig deep now into my theory. So first of all, only one outcome where they beat Thanos, and Thanos is a huge threat, don't get me wrong, but just one? Only one where you beat Thanos out of 14 million. 14 million? Like, come on. We've seen in What If Thanos being defeated. We've seen in Multiverse of Madness where Doctor Strange soloed Thanos by himself. He beat him all by himself. Fair enough, he used the Darkhold, but you can see where I'm going with this. He beat Thanos by himself. We even see in Endgame, Captain Marvel's giving him a run for his money. We see Scarlet Witch whooping his ass. We see so many different ways where Thanos was losing. We see Thor behead him. He was nearly beaten at the end of Infinity War anyway. We see so many different scenarios throughout these films in What If where Thanos is defeated. You can't tell me that 1 out of 40 million, the only way the Avengers are beating Thanos is by Iron Man sacrificing himself. I always thought after watching Endgame, why didn't Tony use the Power Stone? Bit like how he used Thor's power with all those repulsors at the start of the fight with Thanos in Endgame. Why didn't he use the Power Stone to just blow Thanos away? Boom! The Reality Stone to turn Thanos into paper. Teleport Thanos into a sun, a black hole with the Space Stone. Use the Time Stone, go all the way back in time and make it where Thanos was a child.
First of all, that's horrible.
It's Thanos.
And secondly,
use the Mind Stone to manipulate Thanos into turning on his entire army. There's a lot of different ways, surely, where this could have played out, but there was only one way, which ended up with Tony Stark dead. Thanos has been beaten in other universes relatively easy without needing to be snapped away, which in some ways is sort of overkill. So why did Doctor Strange lie? Because when he looked into the future, he looked even further into the future. He took advantage of the fact he was using the Time Stone to think, let's find a solution where the universe is safe. Because ultimately throughout the MCU, there's not really been any major threats. No Thanos level threats. So far, the MCU's all good. There's no scenarios where the universe is at stake. Every issue since Endgame is all been taken care of with the heroes that we have. He found the one scenario throughout the 40 million outcomes where the MCU, the sacred timeline, is all good. So what did Doctor Strange see when he looked even further into the future? He saw Tony Stark causing havoc on the sacred timeline and probably throughout the multiverse.
so what are you doing?
What am I doing?
What are you doing?
Nothing much.
What, my plans?
What are your plans?
Are you?
Yes.
I'm gonna fucking kill you!
But what Doctor Strange didn't know was that that wasn't Tony Stark, it was Victor Von Doom. So, Doctor Strange saw Iron Man, Tony Stark, doing some messed up stuff in the future. Who knows what exactly he saw, but either way, he saw Tony as the villain. But what he didn't know was that it was Victor Von Doom. Now, you may be thinking, a major plot hole in my theory is that Victor Von Doom is around, so surely he would have seen two Tony Starks causing havoc if Tony Stark was still alive. And this is my theory, was that even though it was Victor Von Doom causing these problems, this was already explained to us in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. A quick recap of Multiverse of Madness. We saw Wanda pictured as the villain, and we see Doctor Strange go to a few different universes, and we see Wanda Maximoff going after Doctor Strange. We see Wanda eliminate the entire Illuminati, but it's not actually physically Wanda's body, it's a variant of Wanda. Victor Von Doom and Tony Stark share the same face, much like Human Torch and Captain America. The thing is that in Doctor Doom's universe, he is Doctor Doom. He's Victor Von Doom. He's from Latveria. He's not a Tony Stark variant. Same thing in the MCU, the Sacred Timeline. He's not a Doctor Doom variant. He's nothing to do with Victor Von Doom. He's a Stark. But they share the same face, much like Human Torch Captain America, or Human Torch Killmonger. And that is enough of a connection for Doctor Doom, who's already read the Darkhold, or who will use Scarlet Witch, who is very much rumoured to appear in Doomsday and Secret Wars. You know, we even got a statue of her in Deadpool and Wolverine. There's a lot of rumours that Doctor Doom and Wanda Maximoff will not only be allies, but potentially have some romance, potentially a couple in the movie. Either way, whether Doctor Doom has read the Darkhold himself, or he's getting Wanda to teach him this magic as she did destroy the Darkhold. He may have already read it before she destroyed it. But anyway, my theory is that Doctor Doom will dreamwalk Tony Stark in the future, as Doctor Doom, like I've said in previous videos, he doesn't get his hands dirty, he gets other people to do his bidding. He manipulates and controls Tony Stark to set the scene for him, to do his bidding at the sacred timeline. It's a sacred timeline for a reason, and I'll have a separate video on why it needs to be the sacred timeline that he's setting the scene, and why the Fantastic Four show up at the end of the Thunderbolts film. Whether it's the Fantastic Four or it's Doom, either way we see the rocket with the Fantastic Four logo, and we know the sacred timeline is essential to this plot of the film. We know we're going to get other universes with Deadpool's universe where potentially Monica Rambeau ended up, but the sacred timeline is an essential part of this plot, and this is why Doctor Doom controls Tony using either a similar spell or the same spell, using the Dreamwalk method like we saw in Multiverse of Madness, and in the future he controls Tony after Tony's already beaten Thanos, or after the Avengers beating Thanos and Tony survives. And this is why Doctor Strange found the one possible outcome where Iron Man is out the picture, which essentially in his head would have saved the multiverse.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
But it didn't. It set Doom back, but it's not prevented the inevitable. So I will go into a separate reason later on why Doctor Doom uses Tony Stark. He has the same face as him, and I think this is one of the reasons why he approaches the Fantastic Four at the end of Fantastic Four, First Steps. Because Doom is taking his first steps into his plan. Doctor Strange has set him back by choosing the only outcome where Tony Stark doesn't survive, meaning Doctor Doom no longer has his puppet to control. Doctor Doom will use Franklin to bring Tony Stark back to life. He will manipulate the young child and show him how, in that universe, Iron Man was a hero. He fought for his planet, he saved everyone, he sacrificed himself. We need to bring him back, and that's what I think is where either Franklin Richards or perhaps Wanda Maximoff will play into Doom's plans, where he will learn the Dreamwalk spell or magic technique, whatever you want to call it, as well as use Franklin to resurrect Iron Man, but to resurrect him in a way where everyone thinks he's Iron Man, but he becomes Doom's puppet until Doom eventually arrives and he goes to the sacred timeline, and from there that's when he will orchestrate his master plan. So you're probably wondering why the sacred timeline, and this is because who is holding the multiverse together? Loki. Where is Loki from? As much as this version of Loki is from an alternate timeline, this Loki is still from universe 616. Also, where is Kang? Kang is still out there. All his Kang variants are out there. And whether Kang is dead or alive, this version of Kang has the technology to take on the multiverse, to take on all of his variants. And what's Doom gonna do? Much like Doom does, kill his opponent, take their abilities, whether it's technology or magic or raw power, like he does in the original Secret Wars comic where he defeats Galactus, takes his power, or a bit like in the newer Secret Wars comic where he takes the powers of the Beyonders. Doom will find Kang, he will kill him, and he will take his powers. How's Doom gonna find Kang? Kang technically is still on universe 616. Whether Doom uses the time stone if Kang did die to bring him back to that moment, much like how Thanos brought Vision back just for the Mind Stone and then kill him. I think we're going to get a scene just like that, and this is one of the reasons why Doctor Doom must go to universe 616. He will go, find Ant-Man, kill Ant-Man, then travel to the quantum realm within universe 616, either resurrect Kang or find Kang wherever he ended up, kill him, take his power or technology, then go to the Council of Kangs, kill all of them, take any loot that they have, and then go on to the TVA. And then from the TVA, go and find Loki. Because I do believe whether Jonathan Majors comes back in a small capacity or he gets recasted.
Next time, baby.
I think Kang is too big of a character to simply discard and never mention again. But for whatever reason, I think it's obviously clear that there is something essential about Universe 616 that Doctor Doom must go to in order to illustrate his plan of taking over the whole multiverse and creating his own universe, Battleworld. But yeah, that's my theory on Avengers Doomsday. I do believe Doctor Strange did lie. There's no way out of 40 million realities that was the only one where they beat in Thanos. I do believe that it will be explained in the movie, and much like the Russo brothers did explain in an interview, that there's a reason why they casted Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, that it's essential to the plot of Avengers Doomsday. And I do believe Doctor Strange lying to make sure that there was a universe where they beat Thanos with Iron Man dead, because he saw Tony Stark being manipulated by Doctor Doom by not knowing the actual threat, and that is why we ended up with, unfortunately, a dead Iron Man. But yeah, let me know what you think of my theory. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think I'm on the ball? Do you think I'm completely wrong? At the end of the day, it's just a theory. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.